Who is called to be an entrepreneur? What does that person look like? What qualities do they need to possess? Or
I was thinking about it earlier today, and I feel like entrepreneurship is almost synonymous with leadership.
right,
You know, and so it has to be about more than just money. It has to be people centered and focused. You know,
Right.
money will come. You know, I think once that's your. I mean, I'm sure it's with UTC the same. You know, you all think about the customer, their families, what could benefit them. You know,
yes,
is also you're providing not just. It's not just about making money for you, but you're providing opportunities for others.
okay, guys, are we ready? All right, showtime. Hi guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Urpreneur. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Iziah Kanhai. He's a musician, he's an engineer, he is into fitness. So Iziah, tell me how all of that.
Yes. Okay, so I'm really here today on the show as a business owner, CEO of Zion Fitness House, which is a new gym we established just before the first lockdown.
Okay.
So it's been a ride. But what brought me to this part of the woods, fitness and bodybuilding and stuff, I actually started off. I've always loved music, singing, grew up in church. And I wanted to go full time into music. My parents, when I was leaving high school, they were like, "Here's what: use your education, use your brains, go get a degree, something stable. You could do music a little later on." So I went ahead, did civil engineering, went into the oil and gas industry for 4 years.
Right.
During that time, it was in 2013 when I struggled with neurosis, which is a mental disorder. It could lead to psychosis, and it was a really rough. It was the roughest period of my life.
Oh my gosh.
And we tried so many things, and one of the things that helped was running. I live in the countryside in Las Lomas,
Right.
and there are a lot of hills and stuff, so I would start running on evenings, and that would help me kind of clear my mind, sleep at night better and stuff, and started training at the gym a bit, and fell in love with it.
Right.
Now, building muscle was never my intention. Being a bodybuilder on a stage, owning a
Yes.
gym, that was far from my mind. I wanted to be a musician, a singer.
Yes.
So an opportunity presented itself in 2015. I moved to the US, to South Carolina, there to be a music director at a church.
Okay.
And it was while I was in the US that, while working out in the gym, one of my new friends across there was like, "Hey, you have potential to compete. Why don't you think about doing men's physique, which is a division in bodybuilding?"
Right.
So I went into it, won my first show, started winning shows in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia.
Wow.
So much so that the Trinidad and Tobago Bodybuilding Federation here in Trinidad, they took notice of it and they were like, "Here's what we want you to represent the country." So,
Excellent.
this is all in the span of 1 year, by the way, 2017.
Wow.
And I ended up going to the Amateur Olympia in Las Vegas in 2017, won my pro card there, and made my way into the IFBB Pro League. And I'm the first IFBB Pro men's physique athlete from Trinidad and Tobago. So little by little, bodybuilding and fitness started to overtake music while I was in the US, and a lot of opportunities opened up with sponsors and potential investors to open a gym. And it was early 2019 when I made the decision that I wanted to move back to Trinidad to open a gym, and messaged. It just started off as a WhatsApp message. I messaged two of my very best friends. I was like, because they are into fitness as well. One is my cousin. He's a competitor as well. His name is Dylan, and the other is Chris. And they were the people I would train with whenever I'd visit Trinidad, while I was living in the US. And I messaged them. I formed a group. I was like, "Guys, I'm coming back home. I want to open a gym. Well, you all up for that?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it." Now, these are three guys. One is a civil engineer, one is a biochemist, and the other is he has his master's in health and safety. So we have no experience in business, none. I don't even know how to do a book, accounts, nothing. But we're going to open a business, So we started the WhatsApp group. And for the entire year of 2019, we planned how it was going to happen when I moved back at the end of 2019. of course, I mean, even though we planned and we thought we had everything laid out, COVID struck. And that was that. But
This sounds like a movie.
it
Doesn't even
no,
sound like
listen, I
somebody's
think I'm
real
going to
life.
write a book. For real, I think I'm going to write a book. This year, you know, I've had a lot of people ask me or tell me, in fact, wow, this is probably the worst time to open a business. And
That's what I was thinking.
carry
too.
on. It honestly has been a COVID. I mean, it is a pandemic,
Right.
and I hate it for what it is. You know, millions of lives are affected by it. But what we at Zion Fitness House have been able to do is use it to I would say catapult ourselves. You know, something I feel like the presence that Zion Fitness House has now, it would have taken years for us to build the kind of platform
How
and establish
so?
ourselves. So, we're going straight into COVID, I guess, you know?
Yes.
One of the very first things is, well, we envision Zion Fitness House to be a studio, a small setup initially, and it evolved and eventually, and there's a whole next series of divine dramatic events that I don't even have the time to share it now. But it ended up evolving into a commercial sized gym. It is actually a gym that was existing that we took over in Sun Plaza, that's in Monroe Road. And the size of the gym is somewhere between like a commercial and a studio. So there's a very cozy, intimate, comfortable kind of feel to it, but it's
Right.
still a pretty big gym. So when the government implemented the first lockdown, they said restrictions of, I think it was 25, and then it was 15. And, you know, for a lot of gyms at 25, they were like, okay, we could still work with this. But then when they hit 15, I think every single gym in Trinidad pulled out and was like, here's what we're closing down. Well, not closing down, but
Right.
closing because it probably wasn't profitable to try to run the business on just 10 persons at any given time. For us, the overheads, the numbers had worked. So we were like, here's what we're going to stay open. We were the only gym in Trinidad open for 2 weeks. The second half of March, just before the total lockdown. And we had people from Port of Spain, from Penal, from Sandy Grande, because everybody looking for a gym to train.
Wow.
Zion Fitness House. And it's so funny how we were just strategically positioned in the center of Trinidad.
Yes.
And we had people from all over. We were able to double the membership that was existing there when we took over. And just before the total lockdown, just the presence that we had on social media, people were tagging Zion Fitness House, the only gym that was
Wow.
open, doing something, you know. And then when we were closed during that lockdown, we were like, we have to keep this momentum going. You know, we can't just let the last, you know, the last 2 weeks just slide, you know. And we
True.
decided to make videos, you know, home workouts, how to do stuff with towels, with water bottles, and we posted videos, and people were so appreciative of it. I mean, there was no kind of monetary, you know, reward really for it, but we just wanted to keep people motivated during that time, you know. And of course, assert ourselves even more in the industry because we're new,
Right.
but we were starting to gain ground. And
That makes sense.
so we were open for a bit in July into August.
Yes.
And then the second lockdown hit. And that was a Saturday. The Prime Minister announced it. And that Saturday night, we came up with Zion Fitness Hub, which was a private group that we created on Facebook. We sent out invitations and we were like, here's what, guys. We're going to do free online sessions, 1 hour sessions, 3 days a week, you know, and it really at that point was to really build a community,
Right.
you know, because people were so,
That is so smart.
by then it was so hard for people to just, you know, they stopped one time, then they went back out into the gym, tried to get back into shape, and then they had to
Right.
stop again. So it's like, here's what, we're going to keep you all motivated. We also did rentals. We rented everything out of the gym. All the plates, dumbbells, bars, everything. And we had to like try to figure out how to write contracts. I mean, like I tell you,
That
we
is
have
so interesting.
we have no kind of experience in law, accounting, or anything, but COVID has taught us so much.
Wow.
Just to backtrack a bit too, we had an existing staff when we took over and we had to let everyone go. And we had to clean toilets, we had to run front desk, do stock, accounts, train people while all of this is still going on and run the business, you know? So like I said, COVID has taught us from the ground up of the business, and it's lessons that we would not have probably learned if, We were just sailing in calm seas right now. And then also for the team, within the team itself, it caused us to just bond together a whole lot, in a more deeper and meaningful way.
Yes.
So it's built something that I don't think would have happened, if it was just all good, So I said we rented out stuff. We also had an outdoor gym. So we looked at the law, we were like, how could we make something work? Because we're doing all this for free. The rental was the only thing that we had, coming in with money and stuff. And we were like, we could do an outdoor gym. How we designed it was we had caution tape set up. Our landlord is so gracious to us. He gave us a big spread of the car park. So we had like 15-foot squares for a single person to work out in. We took all the benches outside. We had tires, we had hammers, we had battle ropes. So we brought a lot of CrossFit elements, stuff that is not even our strengths or our field really, but we decided to integrate a bunch of different forms of fitness, and it took off. Like when I tell you, that was able to sustain us, keep paying all our overheads even while we were locked down the second time.
Wow.
And it's been such a success. I'm going to give you a second to ask my question now because I realize I'm talking the entire time.
I'm loving it.
I realize I'm talking the entire time.
It's like a movie. I'm riveted. I'm just like...
But the outdoor gym carry-on has been is such a success that even though the gym has reopened, we are continuing it because a lot of people are still kind of skeptical about working out indoors.
Yes.
So they prefer the outdoor environment. And it has grown so much that we are expanding and looking to go across the country from January. So...
Wow, no, that is dynamic.
And now I will take a sip of water after all of that.
That
sorry,
story
I'm
is
sorry.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a lot. Sorry. I meant to stop and give you a second in between, but it was just flowing. It's just been an emotional roller coaster too, and having a team, being part of a team has helped a lot. I read somewhere where it said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. And there were moments during the lockdowns where, it was tough. It was either one of us was depressed and the other two were like, here's what, we could do this. We could do this.
Aww.
And Chris and Dylan, couldn't ask for a better team. And the team that has been joining to that vision since then, Denisha, Varun, we have coaches now that they're not even getting paid. They were there during the lockdown with us, doing the outdoors, doing the live videos, and we just seeing the right people are being drawn to the vision, and I see us expanding in a great way. This is far bigger than me now, and
gosh.
I am so excited. I mean, I know we're still in the middle of a pandemic, but I am so excited about the future and just next year and the possibilities, so.
You knocked the wind out of me there.
Sorry.
So, all right. So, now that gyms have reopened, so what next? How do you see, what's your next step?
So with the gyms reopened, the thing is we still have a limit. We still have restrictions in terms of time. We have to close at 10 p.m. We had made the facility a 24-hour gym, but we still have restrictions going forward, and I don't see those things changing anytime soon. We have the masks, we have face shields. Those are things that we are big on. I think other gyms are not as stringent on it, but our members appreciate the lengths that we go to create a safe environment for them.
Right.
We are regularly cleaning, disinfecting, so just providing as safe as of an environment. And like I said, some people still don't feel that comfortable, so they prefer the outdoor environment. So we're definitely going to be expanding the outdoor gym to hopefully 2 locations in Trinidad, right? Wow. I don't want to say just yet because it's still all right. But it will be in January.
Okay, I hope it's close to me.
We actually thought about, presenting it to corporate businesses and stuff as something that they could do for their employees and stuff.
Right.
So, but one of the motives for expanding the outdoor and taking myself, Dylan and Chris out of the gym, the physical gym that we have in Sun Plaza, is to create room for the new coaches coming in,
Okay.
So Because what we've been doing is we've been gathering a team, training people. We don't have, the thing is, there are a lot of restrictions right now, but we've been doing everything that we could to prepare for expansion, because we
Right.
don't want, you know, Zion Fitness House to get this huge influx of people.
Right.
And it's just Dylan, Chris, and myself, and we can't, you know, right now as it is, if we try to run it as it is, with how big it has become, we would have stunted the growth, you know, a long time ago. So we have Jose, Varun, Denisha. There are 3 new coaches. We have 2 other new ones coming on in January with us. And we're just kind of getting things ready so that we could pull ourselves out, you know, and create that room in the physical gym for these new members coming in. So it is, I just see so much possibilities, so many possibilities. And it hasn't been like that the entire time. There have been the moments where I've been down and nervous and anxious,
Of
and
course.
you know. But God is good. I mean, I thank God for my faith to my parents and just pray, and you know, I think holding on to that too during this time was a big part of me being here and just being able to say, hey, I'm making it. We're not just making it, but we're thriving. You know, so
That is good. Not many entrepreneurs can say that. That's amazing.
yeah, it's been good.
So it sounded like you had a lot of learnings
Yes.
over the last 9 months. Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
To be honest, I don't want to sound prideful in saying that. I feel like, you know, the things that we have embarked on doing, Karen, we spent like, actually when I'm done with this interview with you, I'm going back for a meeting, because we literally meet almost every single night to go over, to assess what we could have done differently, what we could have done better, you know,
Right.
and before we put anything out, it goes through a series of, you know, of just nitpicking to make sure that the product and the service that we present is something that is quality. And I feel pretty confident in saying that we've given quality every single time. We've made some little mistakes along the way, you know, just with people and just personal, just one-on-one things.
Right.
But we've gone the length to let members know that, hey, we care about you, you know. We apologize if it was something that, because obviously it wasn't something that we meant, you know. We had 1 or 2 situations like that, but what we would have done differently, I don't know. I feel like with the curveballs that COVID has thrown at us,
Yes.
I feel like we've beasted it out. I feel like we killed it. So
Wow.
it's been a ride. It's been a journey. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you think you'll do a book?
I want to.
You should.
Yeah, I really want to. You know, I always felt deep inside that I had something to offer. I mean, every single one of us have something to offer. You know, not everybody is called to be an entrepreneur, you know? And there's nothing more glamorous or more, you know?
Who is called to be an entrepreneur? What does that person look like? What qualities do they need to possess? Or
I was thinking about it earlier today, and I feel like entrepreneurship is almost synonymous with leadership.
right.
You know, and so it has to be about more than just money. You know, and that is one of the things that we try to focus on, making people and the product and the services that we offer our priority.
Right.
You know, and so we offer a lot more than just training. Sometimes it's counseling. Sometimes people come into the gym and we just have to listen.
Wow.
You know,
That's good.
sometimes we give advice, you know, but it has to be people centered and focused, you know.
Right.
And we're not trying to be gimmicky when we say that. You know, we
Right,
really care about our
exactly.
customers, and money will come. You know, I think once that's your, I mean, I'm sure it's with UTC the same. You know, you all think about the customer, their families, what could benefit them. You know, and
Absolutely.
you know, being an entrepreneur, it takes, who is called to be an entrepreneur? It takes a lot of will, perseverance. I know these are like real common words to use.
No, but that's fine.
But
I mean, some people want to know.
yeah,
It
I mean,
sounds
like
it's not for the faint of heart.
it's not. It's not. But at the same time, there are rewards that I think you will be able to enjoy, and certain like satisfactions that you will enjoy that I don't feel like another person would. For me, one of my joys is to see Zion Fitness House. People come from work, they have friends, they mingle, they mix. To see the staff, take up responsibilities and do things on their own, and it's like, this could go without me. Like, this will live far beyond me. This is way bigger than me.
Yes.
And that is a satisfaction that I can't put money on. I can't put money on it. So I think going back to the question you said with who's called to be an entrepreneur, I feel like somebody with vision, somebody with courage, but a lot of heart, empathy, because
yes,
is also you're providing it's not just about making money for you, but you're providing opportunities for others.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a cool calling. I'm still learning. I have a lot to learn, and that's the next thing. Like I know I can't do everything, and I can't learn everything. So I'm trying to position myself around experienced people in different fields. The lawyer that we have, the accountant that we have. I'm trying to stick close with them. Trying to learn as much as I could, but also knowing that I can't do everything.
Yes.
So an entrepreneur also should be somebody who's humble to realize that they can't do everything.
That's so true.
And that it has to be, at the end of the day, a team effort. So
Well said. So
yeah.
if you had to summarize your tips for an aspiring entrepreneur who wants to start a business, are there like maybe 3 things that you'd say, make sure this or?
I would say when I said it's synonymous with leadership, people are looking to you, for strength, for direction during, especially like something like this during a pandemic. And like there are times where I've felt, a little bit down, but I realized that, I have people depending on me to just move, to keep moving forward through this whole thing. So one of the things that I've developed, one of my mantras that I repeat to myself, and I've repeated it I don't want to say every day this year because I'll lie, but for a lot of times this year, I have said, this is not happening to me, this is happening for me,
I love that.
And that is, it shapes the way I perceive things, it shapes the way I react to things, So I'm almost always trying to see, how could we overcome this? How could we learn from this? How is this making us better? So that's one thing I'll say to young and upcoming entrepreneurs, your perspective is really important. Just the state of mind, the positivity, what you feed your mind on, is really important. The books you read, what you fill yourself with, because it's it's not just you, but a lot of people that are gonna feed from your energy, feed from your leadership. Another thing I would say is get people who are experienced around you.
Yes.
A lot of times, like I said, I'm an engineer. I have no experience in running a business. I wrote a business plan at the beginning of this whole thing last year. And to be honest, looking back at it, it felt like I wrote it with crayons because I don't know anything. But the thing is, you can't stay in ignorance and think that you can run it on your own.
Yes.
You need expertise, and it will cost. Sometimes it will cost, but you'll end up saving yourself a lot more in the end if you make informed decisions than just going willy-nilly and burning yourself out, making mistakes. One of the third things I would say is take the jump, take the leap. I read somewhere that the only risk in life is not taking any risk at all. You never know what could happen. And I believe, once your heart is in the right place, once you believe in what your business is, it's going to take a lot to break you.
Yes.
And so that belief in yourself, belief in your product, belief in what you can offer,
Right.
it will find a way. It will. Let me tell you, Karian, for the kind of things that we've undertaken this year, we don't have the money to do it. And I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And I believe it's because of the will that we have. People saw it, they aligned ourselves to us, they supported us, and it comes to you. You don't see how this happened, but it happens. So you could expect the rest of the tips in the book that I'll release probably next year.
Okay, all right. I'm looking out for the book.
But yeah, I was so excited when I was invited to be here today because I just felt like, you wanted an entrepreneur, and I'm like fresh off the press, like I'm as green as it gets, so.
And I love it. I mean, it totally surprised me that you opened this year of all the years, given what's happening, and that, as you said, you've still been able to thrive, and you've pivoted to suit, the different regulations and requirements coming from the government. That's amazing, and that's encouraging. It's inspiring.
Yeah, it's been a. We were talking about it, and we were like, you know what? We are glad that it is happening to us at the beginning of our journey. We feel like if we could come through this, it's gonna take hell and high water to break us, and that's not gonna happen. We are around for the long run, and this is gonna be past my time here on Earth. Zion Fitness House will live on, beyond me. So
sounds like a legacy move.
Yes. I think that for me will be like success, like true success.
So what about all the other talents that you have? Do you plan to try and monetize those?
Yeah.
The writing, the singing, the civil engineering. Do you think it's possible to monetize those while focusing on Zion Fitness House, or Zion Fitness House is where your heart and your passion and all your focus will be?
So I would still say music and singing is still my number one passion.
Right.
I believe things happen in different seasons in your life, and you have different things going for you, and you have to know when to move on. I believe the time happened for me to move on from music, into bodybuilding, and it is very clear that this is the season to be, doing what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Given the way my life has been,
Yes.
I don't doubt I might end back up doing who knows, I might be a figure skater by 2025 or something. I don't know, but
anything is possible with you.
No, I tell myself I just have one life to live, and I want to really live it. So I right now, everything, my everything is given to Zion Fitness House for the next few years. I want to, continue to build it and get it to the place where it doesn't need me, to run, and I could explore something else, and so.
So Iziah, what would you say the moral of the story is when you look back at your journey?
For this year, like in the context of this year, I would say innovation. This is a time where businesses needed to sit down, evaluate, adapt to the new normal, and become innovative, become creative.
Yes.
And there are always, if you look hard enough, you would find there's always some possibility, and let me tell you, we like literally studied the law. We got the print, looked at, all the clauses and everything, and we were like, this can't work. So maybe we could do this. We ran it by our lawyer. He was like, yeah, that looks good. And I mean, that was the outdoor gyms.
Right.
And we did the outdoor gyms, and there was a time where some police cars actually passed through the compound, parked up, and looked at us, and I was kind of nervous because this was like, oh, this is us kind of testing the law here.
Yes.
They were fine, so I was like, all right, we passed. So it worked, and that's the thing, like, you really have to, and there are ways, if you look hard enough, there are ways to make it, social media, your online presence, take advantage. Those are free tools.
Right.
That's at everyone's fingertips, and that's if it's any time that people have flooded to social media as a means of communication, it's now.
True.
Because we don't have the face-to-face interaction and stuff. So this is your time to capitalize. Don't sit down and just wait for the pandemic. This might be for a while. We might be here for a while. So you better start thinking how to make it work. And there are ways to make it work,
That's a strong message. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Isaiah. Before we wrap up,
Yes.
is there anything you want to share about yourself that you don't think we know, or that's funny or quirky?
So, I know I was sharing this with you a little bit before, but I could do this. I don't know if the camera could zoom in right
Wow.
now, but yeah, I'm pretty
Are you seeing his
flexible.
finger?
I have a lot more tricks, you know.
Okay, like you just legit did a braid with your hand.
Yeah. And then I call this one the pretzel. It doesn't look like one, but
Okay, so maybe gymnastics is next in your
it might
finger
be
gymnastics.
contortionist. Yeah.
Contortionist. Right. Oh gosh, thank you so much, Isaiah. Like that was like a movie. Wow, amazing. I'm still digesting. But
Yeah.
it was also very inspirational when I think about everything that you had to overcome, from your illness,
Yeah.
moving away, coming back, starting a business in a pandemic. That's the ingredients for a pretty exciting life.
Yeah,
So-
it's been. It's
Wow. I'm sure that our viewers are just as inspired and in as much awe as I am. So thank you very much for sharing with us today.
Thanks for having me here. It's been a pleasure to share this, and I hope it encourages somebody. It is. You could do it. You could do it. You mightn't see the whole plan, the whole way forward, but just make one step forward, and the next step will become clear. So
Wow. Taking that to heart, taking that to heart. If that wasn't an inspirational episode, I don't know what is. So guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Urpreneur, and we look forward to seeing you. Take care.